Several communities in Plateau State were attacked during the course of the week. Fewer than 125 dead bodies have been recovered and given mass burial in the past 3 days. Maguval Development Association, a socio-cultural organization in the Manguluku government area of Plateau State, stated the organization consequently raised the alarm over the spate of killings in the state by gunmen suspected to be herdsmen. Addressing newsmen in Jos, Plateau State, the national president of MDA, Joseph Kwankart, said apart from the two communities, Fangzai and Kabwat, that were initially attacked in the early hours of Tuesday, many other communities and villages also suffered the same fate, with many inhabitants killed. He said the place as a result of the attack we are going through a harrowing period as we are lacking food and other amenities. He noted that more than 20,000 people were displaced and currently taking refuge at the local government secretariat, churches and traditional rulers' places. Well, I still have with me here Justice Ojenio in the studio and via Zoom, Olufemi Lawson. Lawson, let me come to you. Nigeria, especially the north, has had an endemic issue of insecurity for years. This header crisis has continued for years with no solution. What do you believe is the solution?
Oh, you see, oftentimes we have, as a country, referred to the unfortunate, situation in the Middle Belt, Plateau, Nasarawa, Southern Kaduna, and some other part of the country as the elders farmers clash. But I think before we can actually find a way out of this, we must, as a society, be sincere in our approach to addressing this issue. I think it is enough for us as citizens to continue to describe this as a clash or as clashes between elders and farmers in this part of the country. How do you define a situation where women and young children are murdered in their sleep as farmers-elders clashes? These are purely attacks by terrorists on these communities, because no amount of clashes between elders and farmers would have necessitated the kind of carnage that we are currently witnessing in this part of the country. As at this afternoon, the report said over 170 people, but the reality from our friends and, of course, colleagues who reside in those parts of Plateau states that, nearly 300 people have been killed in the last couple of days by these terrorists. So, firstly, we must continue to define the situation by what it is. This is no longer elders-farmers clash, like people try to make it look. This is purely terrorist invasion of communities that has made people lose their ancestral homes and become refugees in their own country. And we call them IDPs. People no longer stay in their homes. People now have to reside in local government secretariat, churches, and mosques to seek refuge. It's a very unfortunate situation. And I think why this persists is the unfortunate posture of the government at the state, at the federal government, at the federal level, where it has continued to address this as clashes. Why not for once bringing perpetrators to book? You cannot continue to read messages of condolences every time our people are killed. You cannot continue to turn government to an institution that read out condolence messages rather than dealing with perpetrators of these heinous crimes. And until the country is ready to squarely address this as purely attacks on the citizens, as purely terrorist attacks on innocent citizens, God forbid, like we used to say in Nigeria, but unfortunately, this may not be the last of such incidents that we witness in this part of the country.
Quite sad, Mr. Olufemi Lawson, but I'll come back to you. Let me come to you now. Like he said, we can't continue dishing out or writing condolence message to these victims, the family of this victim. We can't continue. But let me find out from you, why do you think this header farmer crisis thing has proven stubborn to be tackled till now?
I think that the government lacks sincerity of purpose to confront this challenge from its roots. So one major way that I think that, one major opportunity that I think that the country actually lost in recent times was there's this constitutional amendment that just passed, the 5th amendment to our constitution, where things like prison, electricity, where the states were given power to be able to participate in such. I feel that it was a great opportunity, missed opportunity for provisions like Section 214 of our Constitution to have been amended for there to be state policing and local policing. Because it is people, if the state actually has power to enforce civil order in a society, there will be more organization, will be able to indeed hold the governor of the state accountable as the chief security officer of the state. And with respect to local police, as they have in more advanced climes, we can also hold the local government chairman responsible, because it is, if these people see, they will tell, they will enforce. But if we have to wait for the humongous federal government and its humongous bureaucracy to always intervene in situations and circumstances where instantaneous local intervention is needed, then we will keep having this kind of abysmal results. So the sincerity of purpose needs to get to that place. I think that the states should be empowered to be able to tackle some of these security challenges at the local front. And I feel that these people should actually be tagged terrorists. Yes, they've been tagged terrorists, but they've been handled as terrorists. Is technology being sufficiently deployed to be able to see the movements of these people, to be able to trace the communications of these people? Because they can't, on this scale, kill 120, 170, 200 people in the space of 48 hours. You cannot do it without coordination. They are not spirits, they are human beings. So if those are being tackled, then I think we'll be better for it as a country.